start our morning out, we have a few words from the Dean of the School of Hospitality, Dr. Abnasia, so I will pass it on to him.
Thank you, Maggie. Good morning, graduates, class of 2021. It is so fantastic to be with all of you and everyone watching. It's a particular special delight to be here today morning. You know, this year, everyone knows, has been very, very tough year for everyone. It's the senior year. We went from in-class to LFA and then back to in-class, but then nobody showed up in the classes. You have to do all your quizzes and exams and homeworks, and without all the meetings. I mean, we are a School of Hospitality. We all want to be together with people. And Maggie just mentioned the word resilience. I think you will hear that again and again. That is a constant theme. So what I want to just do a little bit is give you a sense of how that's going to impact you in your future life. So we all take everything for granted. You know, we get up in the morning, we have electricity, we have internet, we have jobs, we have families, we have food, we have everything. And suddenly so many things were taken from us. And, you know, that made us adapt, that made us evolve, that made us stronger, that showed us things that we never had inside us to sort of cope with this, with the loneliness, with the, you know, feeling of aloneness and trying to do the homeworks and projects and everything. And the best thing is that this is going to serve you very well in life, the resilience. And I'm just so proud of our graduates that you did not complain. You hung in there, you dug in there, you pulled up reserves from inside you, and you did not give up. And I think that is very, very important. And that's going to serve you very well in life. The other very quick message today that I want to give is that, yes, this last 1 year was very tough. Our industry was decimated for a whole year. Restaurants closed, hotels closed, airlines, everything was closed. But now that we are getting immunized, infection rate is going down, the society is rebounding very, very strongly. In fact, last year there were no jobs, but this year I am getting emails every single day from employers saying we can't find enough people for our business. So there is obviously the silver lining, but also keep in mind that a lot of people moved away from the hospitality industry over the last 1 year. And so there is a desperate need for highly educated people in the industry like you. And that is going to serve you very well, because if everyone is leaving the industry, you're going to move up very, very fast. So that's where SHA education is going to come in. Everything that your faculty have taught you, that you've learned in classes, from all the visiting lectures, all the executives that came in, that you learned from your fellow peers as well, all that is going to come in, and you're going to do very well, and you'll be industry leaders in no time at all. I am very, very sure of it. I'm telling you that I could not be more prouder of an amazing group of students that are going into the industry. You've all worked very hard, you're resilient, you've got an amazing education, you're going to do very well, and you're going to make SHA proud of you, your family, your friends. Everyone will be so happy to see your progress. I wish you all the success in this world. And please stay in touch with the SHA family, faculty, staff, your peers, your family, and your friends. And I hope that this summer you stay safe and you stay happy. And I look forward to hearing back all the successes you're going to have. So at this point, I'm going to hand it back to your MC for today, Maggie. I know there is an amazing program in store, so just sit back and enjoy. Maggie, back to you.
Thank you so much for that. It was good to hear optimism. We all love that. Next, I'm going to pass it over to Professor Lands, and she's going to give us a few more words.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Maggie. And Dean Abnasia, I wish I had your background with me, too. I love it. I wrote a little something. You are going to hear some similar messages as what we just heard from the dean, but I think it's because we all truly feel this way. So we're clearly sharing the same thought. So dear seniors, in just over 24 hours, you will no longer be college students. You will officially jump the gates and land on the other side into the real world. Truth be told, your 4 years of college faced such unusual, challenging realities that you are already unexpectedly and prematurely forced into facing a different kind of real world. You were juniors when your spring break was cut short. You may have found yourself stuck in some far-off destination or scurrying to figure out how to fly back home from spring break to get back to Boston. And then you had to leave your dorms and somehow get home or to some other safe place. You may have had your semester abroad experience just snatched away from you with the snap of a finger. This was not how college in junior year was supposed to be, and certainly not your senior year. Classes were not supposed to be taken from your bedroom or 6 feet apart in nearly empty classrooms or from so far away wearing masks. Yet as unpleasant as these circumstances were, and still are to some extent, you thrived. You got through this and you achieved. You triumphed. You truly are amazing. Your time at BU also witnessed other uncomfortable and impactful situations. What a long, strange trip it's been, in the words of Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead. You have watched such volatile social unrest and political divisiveness in the United States and even elsewhere, that this too opened your eyes and your minds to forming opinions, standing for causes that are important to you, taking action, supporting others, respecting people, and taking a stand. You were forced to grow up even faster than you had planned. And while you may not realize this, and while it may not have been easy, if you got to this point today, well, then truly you can do just about anything. The college years you experienced catapulted you to possess skills for which you should be proud. You are resilient. We just heard the dean say that. You are flexible. You are tolerant. You are strong. As the great songwriters Don Henley and Glenn Frey of the Eagles said, it may be raining, but there's a rainbow above you. And while we hope you will learn so much from the SHA faculty, you should know that we too have learned a lot from you. We hope that you have been mentored well by us, and please know that it need not stop at graduation. You are now and forever SHA, and our doors are always open to you. Our faculty expects to hear from you, and we ask, no, we insist that you keep in touch. Just a couple of thoughts before I turn it back over to Maggie. I hope you look back at your coursework at SHA fondly, when bars were raised so that your individual or team projects made you crazy or even angry, when you tackled subjects that you can't imagine you'll ever use in your life, but you're going to, trust me. And when you've had to learn how to handle the variety of teaching styles, grading criteria, or homework assignments, I can assure you that at some point soon, you're going to reach out to some of these incredible colleagues of mine, your professors, to say, you're never going to believe, but I thought about you and what we did in class, and I'm so grateful. Students, be willing to take risks and even be opportunistic. Set goals, but don't plan too far ahead. This year proved how quickly and unexpectedly the world can change, so be open to possibilities when they cross your path, and embark on new paths when they arise. As another one of my favorite poets, John Lennon, said, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. So enjoy the ride. And always share the hospitality, whether it's literally in our business or in any other. Let the SHA passion for creating wonderful experiences permeate throughout your career and your life. I happen to be a spiritual person, and I do believe things happen for a reason. Sometimes I never understand why until much later, but events and situations are thrown our way to challenge us to rise to the occasion, better ourselves, and better others in society. So while what we just experienced may not have been how we wanted our college years to be, there was a reason, and you are all the more empowered because of it. Now, my favorite Long Islander, the great Billy Joel, said, so before we end and then begin, we'll drink a toast to how it's been. And while you've all been thrown with the unplanned or unwanted circumstances, you've come through this brilliantly, and you will continue to do so in the future. Congratulations to the strong seniors of SHA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Lands. That was amazing. So now we're going to switch gears a little bit. So everyone pull out your phones and we're going to play a little game called Guess the Professors. And I'm going to hand it off to Stephanie and Donna to discuss the details of the game.
Great. So while we wait for Stephanie to set up the game, we can all take out our electronic devices and go to the website kahoot.it. And then Jindu will also type the game pin in the chat as well as the website address. Thank you.
Okay, we're starting out with a hard one this morning. Wow, Professor Modi can stand on his head for 10 minutes. Very impressive. Let's see who is going to win. Wow, congrats to me in first place. Okay, we'll see who is the biggest Jurassic Park fan in our School of Hospitality community. Meg, she is our Jurassic Park lover. This is definitely a scary situation to learn how to swim. Lance.
Can I just say my uncle was a lifeguard, so please don't think of it was not abusive. This was all to teach me.
Need those clarifying details.
Yes, that's very important.
Jindy keeping the lead. Jane's the highest climber. Good job, Jane. Wow, people were good on that one. Professor Bagnera. And in the lead, we have Jay, followed by Lauren, and then Ninja. Got our top three. Wow, pretty split between Molly Kate and Professor Peyton, but Molly Kate, our equestrian. And Lauren has taken the lead. Pretty split. Professor Katza, that is quite impressive. Talia has taken the lead. Pretty close game by 1 point. So we got our last question up, so we'll see who's going to be the true winner. This one is so impressive and in very true hospitality nature. Okay, let's see who's taking third place. Jindy, congratulations. Second place. Wow. Let's see who's taking the lead. Thank you everyone for playing. That's lots of fun. So next we have another game, and so we have learned that a couple of professors over the years have found someone that resembles some similar characteristics to them. So we're going to allow each professor, or a few professors, to tell why they chose a certain senior. So we're going to start it off with Professor Modi in 1 second.
Wait, should I just unmute and go?
If that works, then it'll click through.
Is it just, am I just hearing the sound as well, or is everyone?
What was that?
Am I hearing the sound as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so shall I just share my mini-me? Sorry, this is the first one, so it's a...
Yeah, you can create a photo.
Oh, okay. All right. So my mini me who I found over the last couple of years is Kyle Koslowski, and the reason I picked him is I worked on a project with Kyle or a couple of projects, and I found that he's a very deep existential thinker. So I feel like our styles align there. And I also realized that he's a glutton for punishment because he and I support the same English soccer club that hasn't won anything for a long, long time. So we have a few things in common there.
Thank you, Professor Modi. Next up, we have Professor Lands.
My mini-me is my other favorite Long Islander, and it's Rory Weinstein from Syosset, Long Island, because how could I not pick my fellow girl on the island? We're both fast talkers. We're both strategic and type A people, and Rory was undoubtedly you.
Next up, we have Professor Jung.
So my mini-me is Jason Wilmont. And the reason why is because we both have passion about jazz, and we also both have interest in opening restaurants.
Thank you. Next, we have Professor Bagnera.
So my mini-me is Jane Wong. I think the opportunity that I had to work with her in the research for my textbook really proved that she is a cheerleader when the time crunch is down to the bottom. She is an overachiever and really delivers amazing quality work. So I'm excited to see what she can deliver in that spirit of following after my type A personality.
Thank you. And finally, we have Professor Katz.
My mini-me is Mark Urbaniak. I had the pleasure of working with Mark on a significant project, and we're wired in such the same way. We were often thinking very much alike. I always admire Mark's ability to really dig in. And the other thing is, we've both been really privileged to travel all over the world at a very young age. So, he's my mini-me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, all the professors that chose a mini-me that resembles them. So in true traditional senior year fashion, the class of 2021 has put together a list of superlatives that they feel best represents the class. So now I'm going to pass it on to Danielle to announce the winners of each category.
Hello, I'm Danielle Gallia. Just bear with me while I share my screen here. So for those of you who don't know me, I did take a gap year, so that might be why you don't know me, or maybe you just don't know me, I don't know. But I'm so glad to be honored to be graduating with all of you this year in 2021. So somehow I got the job of announcing the senior superlatives, so cut me a little bit of slack for my cheesiness here. I'm gonna do my best to narrate this in like a really fun way. A few of you I know better than others, so keep that in mind if I'm talking more or less. It's more to do with what photos you submitted than anything else. I asked for some like personality pics, kind of, because I thought it'd be more fun to like narrate and like talk about. So, and these were all voted by all of you via email that was distributed on a Google form. So thank you to those who voted. Without further ado, drum roll, we have our senior superlatives. Our first superlative is most likely to be a SHA professor. And we have Talia and Mark. So I feel like Talia is very studious. She was my TA for leadership, and she was a pretty good one at that, always getting back to emails really, really fast, which I appreciate. And Mark, we know, is very bright and headed for very big things. Both are beloved by the professors here at SHA, so I can definitely understand why many of us thought that they would fit right in with the other professors here. And I can say that I definitely wouldn't mind taking a class with either one of them. Next, we have most likely to become the next Iron Chef. I don't think these two are too surprising either. Rachel and Eden. Rachel doesn't seem like she was surprised either. Such a cute picture of her with this cute little mushroom and in her like little chef apron uniform. I'm loving the personality in this picture. And then we have Eden, cooking TA extraordinaire, just looking pretty cool here by the ocean. Both are excellent chefs, and I can definitely see why the class voted the way they did. Next, we have most likely to plan the Met Gala, and that is Morgan and Rory. Morgan, in this picture, she just looks like she would plan a fun event. I'm loving the colorful outfit, and I myself am very into any event that involves ice cream like the one she's holding, and I really love her blue shoes here. And Rory's looking very professional, very competent and put together. She looks like she would plan a killer event. Needless to say, I'll be RSVPing for any event that they're organizing. Next, we have most likely to develop the next great hotel brand. Hoda and Tara are hoteliers of the class. I was in leadership with Hoda this semester, and I can say that she is pretty sharp. And both Hoda and Tara are looking very stylish here. I think they designed some pretty trendy, pretty cool hotel concepts. I'll definitely be booking my stay at any hotel that either developed, and I think I'd be a loyalty member too. Next, we have most likely to become your boss. Dorian and Solomon, these are our go-getters, our future CEO classmates. They may be most likely to be your boss, but they're definitely the kind of boss that I'd like to have, because I know these two get stuff done. If you know either of them, you know that they promise and then they deliver, and that's really all you want in a boss. And Dorian here is looking like a bad bee in this photo, and Solomon's looking very professional and nice. So I don't know, they're what I'd call our friendly bosses. I would love to work with either one of them. Next, we have our class clowns. Without class clowns, school just isn't as much fun, is it? So big thanks to Kyle and Lawrence for keeping class light and making us laugh, even when class can get stressful. I know that I appreciate it. Again, not a big surprise by these choices. Both guys are very charming, great senses of humor. Would love to be in class with them any day. Next, we have most likely to be late to class with Starbucks. So I'm not gonna lie, this superlative is my personal favorite and one of my contributions to this list. Sophie really made me laugh when I texted her for a photo. She seemed to know exactly which superlative she'd won and sent this picture in, which I think is pretty funny. And Gary, he's looking very professional here in this picture. Very nice photo. Honestly, who can blame anyone for being late to class with Starbucks? Some days you just got to get that cup of joe in the morning. It's just essential, you know? Next, we have most likely to do anything other than hospitality. And we have Henry and Jessie. I know I was in class with Jessie, and I hear that she's like very good at hockey or something like that, like on the national team and gunning for the Olympics in February. So between that and jetting all around with the US team as much as she was, I think I can understand why some people thought she was thinking hockey while she was here at SHA. Likewise, here we have Henry with just the cutest dog. Look how cute this dog is. And I don't know, I was thinking maybe we shouldn't label him as not into hospitality yet. He can blend his love of dogs and his hotel degree and maybe open a pet hotel. I hear that's a booming business these days. Just an idea, I don't know. Next, we have best dressed, such a classic superlative. Tiffany is here looking very stylish and trendy, really working a beautiful white dress and graduation gown. So I think that says a lot about her sense of style. Then we have Lucy, who's looking pretty well dressed here too. I'm loving the high-waisted black jeans where she's hanging out by the bean. Very fun and trendy outfit, really love it. And I definitely take fashion advice from either one of them. God knows some days I could use some. Finally, we have most likely to become an influencer / TikTok famous, Kevin and Gina. So Kevin here has my personal favorite picture of the whole bunch. In case you don't recognize him, this is Kevin with Salt Bae. If you don't know who that is, I don't know what to say. Spoiler, I didn't recognize Salt Bae at first when I saw the photo, so I'm not as cool or hip as I pretend to be. Anyway, it really does look like Kevin is well on his way to influencer status, networking with the big names already. And Gina here, all I can say is look up this girl's Instagram. She has a feed that anyone would envy. I think she's well on her way to influencer status as well. And she's definitely looking the part in this picture here. So now I'm going to close out this section. Those are our senior superlatives for the class of 2021. Thank you to everyone who filled out the survey. Congrats to our winners. And thank you to everyone for getting back so quickly with such fun pictures. A big shout out to Alex and Dorian for working on the survey with me. I'm notoriously bad with survey technology. And thanks to the rest of the team for organizing this event. I'm honored to be a part of this celebration with all of you and to be in the class of 2021. So thank you all sincerely for an amazing 4 or 5 with the gap year. Years at SHA. I am a dual degree student, but SHA is my real and true home on campus at BU. And that is because of each and every one of you, professors, administrators, other staff, and most of all, other students. So thank you.
Round of applause for Danielle, as well as everyone that got a superlative. Those were so funny, and that commentary was A1. So another senior year tradition is guessing baby photos. So now I will give it up to Dorian, and she will introduce this next segment.
Okay, so we got to see some recent pictures of the class of 2021, but now let's see if we can recognize some of our students when they were babies. So this game is pretty easy to play. Basically, there will be a slide that comes up with a picture of one of our students, and there will be 3 multiple choice answers with 3 different names. So if you think it's person A, go ahead and type an A in the chat, or B or C, and at the end, I'll tell you who is who. So we can kick it off with the first picture. All right, so we have an adorable little blonde baby girl drinking out of a wine glass. So do we think this is A, Sophie Permiano, B, Rachel Cohen, or C, Mackenzie Myers? All right, I'm seeing a lot of B's in the chat, so we're getting a lot of Rachels, but there's some Sophies in there too. All right, so a lot of you were correct. It is B, Rachel. Maybe this is where her passion for food and wine started back when she was a kid. So you look adorable here, Rachel. All right, on to the next. All right, we've got a little baby boy in this picture. I'm loving the sweater vest. I hope they make this in my size because it would absolutely fit my style. Do we think this is A, Gary, B, Daisuke, or C, Austin? If little kids were old enough to be influencers, this picture would absolutely be doing it for me. I'm loving the background, the flowers, the waterfall. All right, I'm seeing a lot of A's. We've got some C's, a couple B's here and there. Okay, so those who said A, you are correct. It is Gary. Looking absolutely adorable here, Gary. Oh, so Gary, he says the background of that picture was in a hotel. Maybe that's where his hospitality passion started, way back when he was a kid. All right, we've got another little baby boy in this picture rocking some combat boots, it looks like, and a train sweater. I don't know if I would take fashion advice from this baby, but definitely from Gary. So do we think this is A, Mark, B, Tom Mosley, or C, Kyle Kozlowski? All right, looks like we're getting a lot of A's, lots of Marks, got a couple C's. All right, it's almost like Kyle knew it was him. It is Kyle, so it is C. I would say this looks a lot like Mark, so I don't blame those who picked Mark. It was definitely a close one between those two. All right, up next. Maybe they were Professor Payton. They could have been switched at birth. All right, we have an adorable baby girl. I'm loving the bucket hat. I'm loving the dress. I'm loving the shoes. Do we think this is A, Tarini, B, Stephanie, or C, Talia? All right, this one might have been a little too easy for everyone. It looks like everyone's saying Talia, and you guys are correct. It is Miss Talia. All right, so unfortunately we couldn't include everyone in the game, but I did want to give a special shout out to everyone who submitted a baby photo, including myself in the top left corner. Clearly, I haven't changed a bit. I look exactly the same. I can't say that about all of you, but everyone was so cute. I wish you guys were all this cute when we went to class every single day. I'm not sure what happened to any of you, but Everyone's really adorable. So thank you to everyone who submitted baby photos. And I'll hand it back to Maggie.
Thank you, Dorian. All those very cute little baby photos. That was a fun little game. So now I'm going to pass it on to Alex to introduce our special guest.
So I don't believe he's here yet. So just hang tight.
While we're waiting, we're going to have a little cheers at the end. So now would be a great time to grab like a drink or something really fast so that can be ready for the end of the ceremony.
All right, looks like our guest speaker is here. So I will go ahead now and introduce him. A born leader and a bit of a rebel, Bashar can speak to the ins and outs of the industry because he's done it all. Most at home on the road, he eats, sleeps, and breathes this calling that we call hospitality. Some might say that he's obsessed with hotels, but it's really the humans behind that drive him. Well, that and a vintage Land Rover Defender. Please help me welcome Bashar Wali.
Hello, everyone. Good morning from the West Coast. Super early. Delighted to be here with you. And Alex, thank you for the kind introduction. I appreciate it. So I won't take too much of your time. You have better things to do. So I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit about what really this industry means to me. People often ask me why I got into this hospitality industry. And there's a saying that I always heard growing up that goes something like, when a stranger shows up at your door, feed him for 3 days before you ask him who he is, where he's from, and where he's going. Because by then he'll either be strong enough to answer you, or you'll be such good friends it won't matter. And really that embodied this idea of hospitality to me. And I'll talk a little bit about what that means in a minute. And people often ask me what business I'm in. And I use this analogy that I love that I think really displays what business we're in. So I say I'm in the theater business. And the analogy I use is I'll go to Times Square, buy the best piece of real estate, spend $3 billion building the most spectacular theater on the planet, dripping with gold and platinum and art, and have a mediocre story and mediocre actors, and no one will care. Because generally people don't go to the theater to admire the building. The building is accretive to the overall experience, but they don't go to the theater to admire the building. So alternatively, I'll go 10 blocks off of Times Square, find a good enough building, focus my energy and effort on finding, training, and retaining the most incredible team of actors and actresses, really hone in on writing a story, something that resonates, that will connect with people, and the world will be around the corner looking at that play and talking about it. So fundamentally in our industry, we often lose sight of what it is that we really do. And I say we're sort of in the business of emotion. Now, often people say we're in the service industry, and I sort of call foul on that notion by saying, look, my dentist is in the service industry. They deliver a service. Where I get my oil changed is in the service industry. Again, they deliver a service. We are in the hospitality industry, and it's a clear distinction because to me, hospitality is how you make people feel. So no matter what we do with technology, no matter what we do with building and art and fundamentally, if you truly hone in on that idea and understand that you are at the end of the day, no matter what business you're in, by the way, you're in the emotion business, I think you win. I'm a huge believer in the Maslow's hierarchy of need, the idea of self-actualization. And yeah, sure, that Instagram photo that you take in front of the incredible piece of art or the neon sign gets you that street cred that you want. But at the end of the day, what will accomplish self-actualization, which is at the very top of the pyramid in Maslow's hierarchy of need, is self-actualization. And that to me comes from being recognized as you as an individual. So our industry historically has had really very little disruption. If you really think about it, since its inception, in my opinion, the only 2 times our industry has been disrupted was once with the internet and a second time with Airbnb. So you guys have a tremendous amount of opportunity to really rethink our industry, particularly not because of the pandemic, but certainly accelerated by the pandemic. How can we behave differently as humans in our industry? I mean, this idea of over-tourism is real. This idea of using technology to eliminate humans is sort of popular now because it helps the bottom line. When at the end of the day, my view on it is use technology to remove friction out of the transaction and really center in on the humans. Our business is not for the faint of heart because in my opinion, it really just involves heart. And I think through the work of caring for others, you'll understand people immediately and you realize what is essential for all humanity. And you'll find a lot of ways how we are fiercely individual, but at the end of the day, we are really very much the same. And all of us that trust that if you simply go about your work of caring for others, because that's ultimately what hospitality is, that you'll be rewarded no matter what, because that's a one-way transaction. If you care for humans, you will be rewarded if that's what drives you. And again, I think for our industry, that should be what drives all of us. There'll never be an end of supply of humans that you can host. And once you've tended to everyone in your home, and humans, by the way, broadly, not just guests, in my view, that genuine care you show starts at home and expands into your neighbors and your community and your city. And ultimately, it's an extension of what you do and goes to your guests. Hospitality really is a calling. It's a mindset. It's a way of being. Let it guide you in every interaction you have. And ultimately ask yourself every day, how can I be of service? Again, to my family, to my fellow humans, to my planet, and by design to my guests. So I think you guys have been handed the short end of the stick, because we old people keep saying, yeah, the next generation will worry about it. But I think we have some real challenges we need to focus on. And I think I view it as you are smarter and more innovative than we have been as a generation. And our reliance on you isn't to fix the problems that we've created, but really to disrupt the way we have done business before. I think the definition of luxury has clearly changed as you think about it today. Luxury was sort of all about abundance and overdoing it. And now luxury is about ultra personalization. So how can you help us contribute this idea of individuality to each person that walks into our doors? And how do we design service and services that will help make them feel that self-actualization that they all look for. So exciting times. Do not let the pandemic stop you or discourage you. I think we're all looking for a fresh perspective on what we do, but I think we have taken it out of context and made it all about things and about out-arting the next person and out-designing the next person and out, Instagram momenting the next person. And I think there's a way to, again, use technology to remove friction, really think of globally as we think about the impact we're having with tourism, but ultimately really focusing on the individual and making sure that they're cared for and nourished. So I have a lot of faith in you making it happen. And I think it's exciting times ahead. And again, you're at the verge of watching all these alternative accommodations come up. And again, the definition of luxury, as I mentioned earlier, changes from being in a hoity-toity place with a butler to now being one with nature in a tent, glamping as it were. So I think you have a lot of opportunities to really finally find another way to disrupt our industry. And in my view, the way that comes is, again, through individualization and attending to each person as an individual human. I am delighted to be here with you. I could talk for a lot more, Alex. I gave myself a timer. You said 5 minutes. I'm at 7. So really excited for you guys. Please go out there. And the last piece of advice I'll leave you with, which is a little bit of my bragging right, if you will. I never stay in one hotel more than once or one night. So if I'm in New York for 3 nights, I move 3 times to a new place every single time. I've stayed in 206 different hotels in Manhattan. Don't be a creature of comfort. You are forever a student. Literally every time you have an interaction, figure out how you could learn from it. And most importantly, and I mean, I don't need to tell any of you that, I'm sure, travel, 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 travel. And don't just go to Thailand to take that photo on the back of the elephant on the beach because someone did it on Instagram. Travel because you want to discover a place. And I'll close with this quote too. Don't travel to discover the world, travel to discover yourself. There's so much self-discovery in travel. You've got to do it for your own good. Don't do it because the internet told you to do it or the TikTok trend is to go do something. Do it for yourself. Excited to be here. Honored. Thank you. Would love to see your journeys, and I can't wait to see what you guys do to make us old people look really stupid. So waiting for it.
Thank you so much, Bashar.
Thank you all.
And I know it's
Congratulations.
early where you are, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
So to conclude our show, we are going to hear from Senior Dorian for our final toast for the class of 2021.
Thank you, Maggie. So this is just going to be a quick farewell to all the students. A second family, irreplaceable, motivating, rewarding, life-changing. All words used by us, the graduating class of 2021, to describe our experience at SHA. For a lot of us, it started fall in 2017 in the late Professor Ocean's HF 100 class, where he called us up one by one to take a photo of us holding a name card. And while a lot has changed since then, here we all are today on Zoom with our names in the bottom corners of our Zoom tiles. And while our names haven't changed, we have spent the last 4 years learning, developing, growing, and ultimately becoming what I believe is a group of intelligent, passionate, and need I say, hospitable young professionals. As a class, we have conquered incredibly difficult things, and I'm not just talking about Professor Quagg's finance class. While finishing college in a global pandemic is not what any of us were expecting when we started college, it's become a reality, and it should be a reality that we are all proud of. So thank you to the students, to the faculty and staff, and to everyone that helped us along the way. I look forward to seeing all the wonderful things you all do in the future. Cheers.
Thank you, Dorian. And thank you guys, everyone that came this morning. It was early to celebrate the SHA class of 2021. We will see everyone at 2 for our virtual commencement ceremony for our class. And I just hope everyone has a great graduation weekend and we all can look back at our 4 years and be so proud of ourselves. So thank you guys all for coming. We'll see you guys soon on Zoom.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
Wishes, everyone.